Hello guys, hi. My name is Bongi and I'm the Happyfit coach. I help people to enjoy life, to be happy, to be fit here, to be fit with the decisions that they make in terms of food, physical exercises, and mentally, guys. Okay, that's what I do. Today I'm here to share my lessons that I learned during a recent solo hiking trip that I had to take. I didn't plan to take this trip alone. I had ladies that I thought I was gonna go with, but they canceled on me. But as the days go and they closer to the trip, I found out that I'm actually supposed to go on my own and just go and do the trip alone. On the day of the trip I went, and today I want to share with you guys the lessons I've learned on the daily on that day, on the solo trip that I took. Now here's the thing. Life is like a race. That's how I see that. Life is like running a race. You're running a race. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. Sometimes you have to go more miles and sometimes you have to go less, right? That's what life is about. But we forget these things. We forget that life is about running. It's about running. Now, people think that when you talk about running, you're talking about the literal running that happens. But running is more about it's more about doing the things that you're supposed to do, like running, having a meeting in a boardroom. You're a businesswoman, you have kids that you have to run, you have a house that you have to run, a household, you have this family, you have this and that you have to run. It's all about running. And these running, like I said, they actually deserve different part of us, which is lesson number one. Lesson number one is that we have a daily run that we have to do, and we have to wear the caps for that kind of running. We have to wear different shoes for your running. For example, one day life is going to demand that you go wear a pretty dress and present on a stage, right? But and then wear the high heels, wear makeup and everything. But the next day or the same day later on, life is going to demand that you become a mother at home, you become a sister, you become whatever, that you have to be. You become the person who's nurturing, who's doing whatever at home. And tomorrow life is going to demand that you go and run a business and make decisions that are going to impact people and so that's it. That is it. And as people, we forget, and we really forget that as we do these daily running, we have to wear these different hats that are there, and they're very necessary for that specific run that we need to do for that day or for that month or for that week. And we become so like so strict on us, so like inflexible, so like rigid, that we do not want to shape and be flexible enough so that we run. Like in a literal run, we have to go through ups and downs. Sometimes we have to cross a little bit of a river. As you're running, you have to cross a street. You have to be careful of how you're running. You have to look on the road where you're running, but you have to look far as well to make sure that you can see whether there are cars and everything, all of that. And that takes a lot out of us, and we find ourselves complaining, why is this running so hard? Why is this like this? So that's the thing. And it comes with a lot of emotions. It comes with a lot of pain. Sometimes it comes with a lot of us having to go through depression because we're running. And this run, sometimes it makes us to actually understand ourselves. It teaches us a lot of lessons, the whole running in terms of life that we have to do. The second thing is that when we run, sometimes we run in a group. I mean, we run in a group, there's a race, we go run. There are people who are saying you can do this. There are people who are saying, hey, come, run. We are here for you, and all of that. It's all nice and well. Even if you feel like you are tired of doing this, you know that there are people who are there looking and you know, people who are wishing you well, people who are in this with you. Or sometimes there are people who are running bad than you are running, and you feel like, oh, this is much better, I can actually do it, because there are people who are still behind me who are coming, and you get motivated. And sometimes there are like subs and buses, like, you know, when you run as a group, there are sub A's and buses and whatever, you know, all those things, and that's kind of a run that motivates you, because there's somebody this side who's playing a song, who's starting a song, and you all singing together, you have a rhythm, and you're going and you're running this race. It's all about that also in the real life, that there is a race that you have to run, and there are people who sometimes say, hey, you can do this, and you can, and they are giving you advices, and you get this side, and you're like, you know, your life is so good in a race, where you're running as a group. But but there is number 3 lesson, where you have to run alone. Guys. When you run alone, sometimes it is in winter, you still have to wake up and go run. You still have to be all these hats that we talked about, that you have to go and make these decisions that are going to affect people. If it's work, you're running a business, things are not going well, right? So if running in a group is like, it's a summer kind of a version of a run, running alone sometimes becomes like winter, right? And now, because it's winter, you cannot say I'm gonna wear a vest alone. You need to really prepare how you wear when you have to go run this kind of life. You need to be prepared mentally how you're gonna run it. Because here's the thing, when people are running alone and there is no group at all to run with or to go on a hike with, like with me, that I didn't have anyone to go hike with, but I still had to go. I couldn't cancel on myself. We then tend to hate and say people don't love us. No one is there to support us. It becomes so quiet. I remember when I went for the hike, it was cold. Most of the people were sleeping that day because it was on a Sunday. And I went running. And people were like, how you went running? I'm still asleep. I didn't. It's so cold. And I'm thinking, I didn't know that it was cold. I had the desire and the burning desire inside of me to go run, to go hike. And I didn't care how are the conditions outside. I set my mind that I have to do this because my journey deserved that. I needed to go do the hiking alone, or the hiking itself. So most of the time we get to be bogged down to this whole idea that we need to go and run, you hike with a friend, hike with a group of people, because we know the experience, how it's like to hike with people, or to run with people, to do things with people, to let other people validate your own decisions that you have to make on a daily basis because they are there and all of that. But most of the time, some of the races that are the hardest are the ones that you have to run on your own. And those races are the ones that beat the hell out of all of us. And what I've learned, so when I was there at the hiking, and I'm busy running, I decided to run, run and walk. I'm busy running, walking up. I can hear that there are people talking, and I hear there is a dog barking, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm alone, and I see that there are a lot of people, and so a lot of people, they are there, and I don't know why the dog was out of the leash and all of that. But in any case, what I've learned during that time, because I told myself that I'm not going to run away from this dog. I'm just going to say, hey, you, while I was so scared and everything. But as I was thinking about all of that happened during that time, and when I was hiking, I got to understand why I had to even go alone. Imagine me having gone with people who know that I've been to a hike and I'm a hiker, or whatever that means, because I go more I hike more. And these people, they would have put all their responsibility to me, knowing that I can be able to handle the situation. And I didn't know how they're going to react when the dog came up. And I would have had people like messing themselves up, breaking their legs and falling and even being beaten by a dog. There are a lot of things that you also have to consider when you do things in a group. And there are a lot of things that happen when you do alone. Now, people, when they do these things alone, they have to run alone. I know I had to do it myself. I knocked in so many people's doors, WhatsApp, asking, so don't you want to go on a hike? Don't you want to go on a hike? People were not there. Guys, people were not there. They were not going to go on a hike because I wanted to go on a hike. I had my own reason why. I had my own like divine appointment to go on a hike on that day. And I at some point I've forgotten that I'm running my own race. And that time and that hike was one of the races that I needed to do it alone. So that's what I've learned, that you need to go on a hike alone. You need to go on a solo run sometimes. You really need to trust yourself that you can be able to do these things alone, because life deserves that. For us to get healing, we need to do these things. We sit alone, we do. You don't go around knocking and say, do you now want to go and do this? Do you want to? No, because people have been there. If you want to go on a valley, if your own running race that time deserves that, you need to go on a valley. And you crying, saying, hello, I'm down here, come down, let's have a party. No, nobody's going to come down and have a party with you in the valley, because they've been there. Some of them, they really have been there, and they want to just take a breather up there. They're like, oh, I'm so glad I'm out of that. And they're still continuing with their running, whatever it is that they're running for. Again, in life, I mean, we're all running. And then you asking people to come along with you, they don't understand, and you're getting frustrated. You're thinking that you are not being loved because you want people to come and run with you. No, it's your own race. You need to take it on. Wear your own shoes. Go and do what you're supposed to do. If you have to wear the high heels that day, go and do. If you have to wear those high heels and go to an interview, you need to go to that interview. If you have to go and talk to whoever, you need to do that. If you have to go and all the decisions that you have to do, it's part of running. It's part of running. Running doesn't say that you only have to shout and say, hallelujah, life is good when you're up in the mountain. When you are down in the deepest valley, that's also part of running that you need to embrace and take the lessons out of that run and become a better person. So as we run as people, we don't need to invite people. We don't need to invite people. Sometimes you need to go on your own race and run it. So if you were thinking that there's something that you needed to do and you've been putting it aside because you're waiting for your friend, you're waiting for the other people to loosen up to the idea, to be like, I want to do it with you, Choma. No, you are actually delaying the process of your own healing, the process of the other people healing, the process of you getting to be free and to just be free, like really, because there are some people who are waiting literally for you to run and finish a certain mile of your life for them to say, let me now start running because I've seen somebody, I've seen so and so doing it, now I can do it. So we delay ourselves and we delay other people for not going and doing our solo running. So I want to say to us that let's go and do the solo running. My name is Bonge, and thank you so much, guys, for being around. Please subscribe if you like this, and yeah, and like the video, and let's connect, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.